Go.
Welcome back. It's January 28th, 2021, and we are The Pivot. I am Matt Lyons here in Crybaby Hill Studios. He is Julio the Juice Quadra down south. What's up?
What's up? I labeled myself today the four-game slate killer.
I like it.
Yeah.
My NBA DK legend is a joke, please. If you do see that is not meant to be serious. We are The Pivot. We are brought to you by Vast Bank. Vast Bank's bringing you all your banking services in several Oklahoma areas. And we're executively produced by Toby Biocchini. And we're here to break down a 4-game DK slate for you. I was out yesterday. I missed a 10-game slate. That thing was huge. How'd you end up doing?
So, I've been starting to play cash this year, like head-to-head contests.
I think that's where it's at. I like head-to-head.
Yeah, I feel like I've sort of been missing the boat past years because I think what I've noticed is, you're gonna have slates on GPP nights where you're wrong.
It's not fun. It's not fun that you have no chance that you didn't play one player, right? One player.
You get one or two things wrong, and you're basically done in GPPs, right?
Right.
But cash, go ahead.
Like Beal last night having 29 in the third, right? Like if you don't have Beal, you're just not in it, right?
So, right. So I played cash. I did 6 head-to-heads, won all my head-to-heads.
Nice.
My cash lineup was fire, dude. I just got 295 in my cash lineup.
Hard. And see, that's hard to beat because they only get one shot at it, and they're not playing. They're not playing anyway. Cash, we see the same lineups a lot. You know that we're going to see a lot of guys that are playing based off the same algorithms and same tout services. Hopefully soon we'll see guys playing pivot lineups, right?
Yeah. But I'm saying that 295 would have been a great tournament lineup, So it's interesting. But I guess that
I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but I've always kind of tried to emphasize that both in the NFL and NBA, build for cash and then just transfer, kind of adjust later for tournaments, right?
Yeah.
If you're building for cash, you're just trying to make the best plays possible, and you're trying to take a little bit of the variance out of the game, and I think that helps in tournaments too. So
yeah. I guess I'm just last night was interesting because I feel like
Is that your first time to focus? I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you a lot, but is that your first time to focus on heads up like that, where you just play 6 matches like that to see how you do?
I've started doing it this week. Just kind of forcing myself to do some head-to-heads every day, and I guess I've liked it because I've been pretty successful at it. And this has been kind of a rough week for tournaments, and it's really just kind of lessened the blow because I'm still cashing. So I don't feel like I'm losing. Like some nights you just are off on your tournaments and you play the next day. But with this kind of strategy, it's like, okay, I lost my tournaments, but I won my head-to-head. So, it's kind of like a break-even day. We just move on to the next one.
I've heard, to interject real quick, I've listened to a lot of information from people about bankroll management in the DK world or the daily world. And I think the ones that are doing this, trying to make large amounts of money on a daily basis, are focusing on 80% heads up, 20% cash. I've heard that in NBA that you should, if you're going to fall different on that, you should fall more closer to 90-10. Where in NFL, you can slide back more to 70-30, 60-40 because you don't have 12 game slates. It's a little different world where you're not adjusting for the slates every night. Anyway, I'm glad you're playing cash. That's a little bit more how I attack my DK world. Can we hit a quick pause?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got my office is calling and they never call.
Okay.
Let's take 2 seconds. Hey, Jessica. No, it's Nancy. Oh, hey, Nancy. What's going on?
Okay, we're back.
Sorry about that, guys. Little break. Are we going to, Are we starting over the recording process? Are we able to splice this together? You see what I'm saying? Or is it
Yeah,
going to
no,
be
I just paused it, and now we're recording again. We're good.
same? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, technology. Well, guys, we're back. Had to take a little phone call. We're doing this in the middle of the day. I am an attorney, and I had to take the office phone call. We were discussing cash versus tournament. I am happy to see. I think I sent you a picture. You were a little bit disappointed the other day in the lineup, and I sent you a picture that we lost in cash by 4 points, even though we had probably the lower range night. So I feel like cash is going to give you opportunities to see success all the time, and that's
Yeah. I'm
you-
liking it. I'm liking it so far. I really am. What I'm trying to avoid are the double ups because what I've noticed in the double ups is
same lineups.
you're basically playing against the roto grinders and Osimo people.
So they're the same lineup. So
They're the same lineup exactly.
yeah. So it's really hard to. It's so weird because in doing those multiple like thousands of people heads up where you have to finish in the top 50, you're doing really good and you're not even in the top 50, and you realize it's because they all have the same damn lineup. So
I know. Yeah.
I think head to head, one-on-one, which mano a mano to me is that's where I'm willing to play the higher stakes.
And you may find those duplicate lineups, here and there, but it's not like 50% of the field has the same lineup. So I don't mind it. Last night was weird because I did 6 head-to-heads, and one guy took all my head-to-heads, and I scored 290 and he scored 240, and it was never close from the beginning. Right. So I was like, dude, this is this is cakewalk.
He thinks you're a fish, so let him keep thinking you're a fish.
No, and that's fine. I mean, I was just like, who's this guy taking all my stuff? But whatever, it worked out. I could be on the other end of that one day, but it's fine. Yesterday it worked. So
he got juiced.
He got juiced. But yeah, let's talk about this 4-game slate. I like Thursdays because it's the doubleheader on TNT, and I love me some Charles Barkley and Shaq. I think those guys are great. So
you know what that also means? Lots of props.
Yeah, nice, good. So we can
props.
Focus a lot on props.
It's a 4-game slate, but there'll be a lot of props. Okay, well, let's go through. Instead of taking them in any kind of like order regarding point total, let's just talk about each slate. We start off with Portland at Houston, which tips off at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Let me look at the injury report that we're seeing. It looks pretty clean on the Houston side. Portland got McCollum is still out, but that's been that way for a while. Jones Jr. is questionable. Hood's questionable. Covington's out. Collins remains out. Nurkic remains out. So some interesting stuff on the Portland side. Houston seems pretty clean. I assume Christian Wood's back doing his thing.
He is. He's back. He's back today. So that's actually big news.
Okay. So talk about that game. Who are you seeing in that game we like?
Yeah, man. So I guess this game, it's what's cool. It's the highest point total on the night. So right off the bat, we get the highest point total, and it's kind of by far. It's 229. Rockets are favored by 5. Rockets are at home. So there's going to be a lot of interest in this game on both sides. But just kind of looking at it, Golden State's the highest pace team on the slate at 104. Houston is second, and Portland is right behind them at third. So a lot of goodness in this game. We did talk about Christian Wood being back. That's big news because not only is he kind of a DFS monster, but it kind of puts Boogie Cousins, I think, sort of back on the shelf.
Okay.
So he's Boogie Cousins
fun while it lasted, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that that we're gonna basically not play Cousins anymore, but his price has caught up. I think he's 7.2, so he's pretty expensive. So I'm just not gonna play him, especially with Wood back. Makes that an easy sort of fade.
That just shows you how well Cousins did in Wood's absence. That DK was able to get him up all the way to 7.2. I mean, that's like in a week he went from.
I mean, remember he was in the 4s a week or two ago. So
he had great performances for those who played him. He's was very popular in the heads up world.
Yep.
So what plays are you liking in Portland and Houston?
So let's start on the Houston side. Christian Wood's back, 8.7K. If his minutes are all the way back, I mean, they're projecting him for 32 minutes. I really like him. I mean, Portland, they're big men. Uh, Enos Cantor is probably one of the worst defensive centers in the league. One-on-one, I don't see how he can stop him. So I really love Christian Wood a lot tonight. Victor Oladipo's been interesting, man. He's 8.1K. I don't know. I don't love Victor Oladipo tonight. He seems kind of expensive to me. There's a couple other guys.
He's really inconsistent. I mean, just from watching his stat lines, he can have some big nights. He could easily pay off that 8-1, but he could easily also hit you like 25 or 22 fantasy points. He's a tough one. He's someone that I'm going to fade for a while until I get a little more comfortable with what his real production is going to be with this Houston team. So
he's totally shooting the ball a lot. I mean, he's averaging probably in the high teens shots per game, maybe even closer to 20 shots, which we love. But his peripheral stats are not what we love.
He's basically putting on a resume right now, right? Wouldn't you agree? I mean,
that's probably fair. Yeah, I mean, I think teams might be.
I've heard LA. I've heard both LAs. Anyway, he's been amongst many trade talk rumors. He's somebody like Beal, who I think is literally going to shoot and shoot and shoot because I think they're putting up resumes right now.
God, I hope. Speaking of Beal, man, I hope he gets traded because he's so good. I mean, I was watching him last night.
He's my favorite player to watch. Period.
He's just unstoppable right now. It seems. I mean, he can get a shot off whenever.
Lillard may be my favorite player to watch, but Beal's right up there.
Lillard's on the slate too.
Yep, and he's in this game.
He's in this game, yeah.
So Wood, we like.
Yes.
Oladipo, I think we're both a little fearful of. What about Portland's side, or?
Let's talk. There's a couple more plays plays that people will be considering tonight. So John Wall is 7.3K. He played really well the other night against Washington. I'm not going to play him, man. I mean, I don't think he's gotten more than 24 minutes since he's been back in a game. I think one game he got 28 minutes, but that might have been a couple of weeks ago. They're just kind of treating him with kid gloves right now in terms of his minutes. And at 7.3, I need more than 24 minutes of a player to want to roster him. I know it's a small slate, but I think there's some other guards that I'd rather play at the point guard spot. So I'm not gonna play John Wall a lot tonight. DeMarcus Cousins we already talked about. Eric Gordon's another guy. He's 6.6K. Similar to Victor Oladipo, he's chucking. I mean, he's putting the ball up quite a bit, but that's all he's doing, man. He's just shooting. He's even getting less peripheral stats than Oladipo lately. I mean, if his shot's not falling, he's going to struggle getting you value at 6.6K. So I think I'm gonna fade him. And I hate fading these guys because Portland is so bad defensively. But I don't know. I just their price tags are kind of up there for my liking.
What about some of the cheaper guys like House and Tucker?
House just came back from an injury, so his minutes are kind of coming up. David Waba has been really doing well in the last few games, but I think now that House is back, I think similar to DeMarcus Cousins, we got what we could with Nwaba, and we just hop off that train. PJ Tucker, 30 minutes a game, low fours. It's always going to be there. He's just a guy I don't like to roster. He's just got such limited upside. He's gonna get you 40 points twice a year. I'm not gonna chase it. I'm not gonna chase the 40 points twice a year. So I'm gonna pass on PJ Tucker. Those are kind of the plays on Houston. We can jump straight over to Portland if you want.
Sounds good. Just to kind of wrap that up, sounds like your favorite play on Houston is definitely Wood, and kind of sounds like you might be steering clear, even though this may be a good pace-up game that you're not loving a lot on that side. Maybe you'll love a lot on this side. So Portland, we've got obviously Lillard at 10.6 as the big, and then everybody else is reasonably cheap. So
I mean, it's hard to not like Lillard tonight. John Wall, I don't think he's a great defender. He racks up a lot of steals and everything. He's got quick hands, but he's just not a great on the ball defender. He
I don't know
plays
that.
passing lanes really well.
And let's be honest, I don't know there's anybody in the NBA that can guard Lillard if he doesn't
No,
want to.
I mean, if Lillard wants to score, Lillard's going to score. So yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think he's absolutely in consideration. He's going to be really highly owned. I think we're already seeing like 40 to 50% ownership on
On this
Lillard.
slate, it would hard. I mean, you'd almost have to do a contrarian Lillard slate, right? Like to not play him. Just he seems like just on this, with the Lakers being the Lakers and the Clippers being the Clippers, you never know what you're going to get. He seems like the kind of sure thing on the slate, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's 30% usage rate. He's averaging 1.3 DraftKings points per minute. I mean, the only other guy that you can compare him to on this slate.
He just had twins. I mean, evidently that's a big deal in the NBA world because he killed it the game after he came back from the Twins.
The Twins narrative has been your thing with Lillard, and he's done well. He's done well.
They literally discussed it on the broadcast for the first 20 minutes as he was making every shot. They're like, Lillard said he's coming back and playing for the Twins tonight, which is a hilarious concept for the idea that his twins can conceptualize what their father's doing at 6 days old. But his twins might. So I love that narrative. And
you know what I will say is he's done great. Last game, he got you 50 DraftKings points flat, which that's not bad. On this type of slate, we're probably looking for raw points. Look, I'm just going to play. I'll probably just be playing Dame Lillard. Bottom line, so I'm not gonna overthink this. The guy is one of the better plays on the slate. So I'm gonna look at definitely some Dame.
Are we worried about? I don't know enough about these two teams, how they're playing. Are we worried about a Portland blowout possibly?
No. It's okay. I mean it's a relatively close spread. I think Houston's favored by 5. I'm not worried about it. I mean, it's not like a double-digit point spread.
Okay.
We should be fine. I'm not gonna scoff at that.
When I was watching Lillard have his Twins game, Simmons also played really well that game.
He did, man. He did. Simmons has been a guy that we could definitely talk about.
I think it's technically Simons, right?
Simons, yeah, yes. Anthony Simons. He got 29 minutes, I think, the other night. So
he was playing really well. So I think they just let him keep playing. Plus, he's playing CJ's spot a little bit, right?
A little bit. Yeah, I think Rodney Hood didn't play that other game, so I think that also had to do with the bump in minutes.
If Hood and Jones Jr. were not to play,
Anthony Simons would be almost a lock at that point. I think.
Right, and they're both
4-2. That's a great call. I think I saw that Jones is probable, and Hood is probable as well. Last I checked. So
I still think it's a decent play, but it's not as beautiful. I think if those guys happen to sit, I think he's sneaky good.
He is. I agree. If those guys sit, then he becomes almost a lock. I'm going to mention another guy that you kind of laughed at me the other night, but
I can't tell you. It's not that I'm laughing at you. It's that he's literally my least favorite player in the league.
Old Man River, Carmelo Anthony, baby.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't even got more likable the older he's gotten to me. I don't know. I thought I'd settle in as he kind of got old and got his minutes off the bench. I don't know why, but he ended up paying off, didn't he, that night?
37.5 DraftKings points at 4.6K. I'd say he paid off.
Okay. Good for you.
Yeah, he I mean, here's the thing though. He shot the ball 21 times, man. I mean, like if he's gonna chuck the ball 21 times with McCollum being out, I mean, he's a good play, man. I mean,
I call that was the pivot narrative, though. I mean, he clearly listened to the show.
He does listen to the show, and Dame had twins,
so he got upset and he fired off against me. So, okay, I can buy.
Carmelo loves twins, so I mean, clearly he was doing it for the newborn twins. But I'm gonna label this sort of the Carmelo revenge narrative tour. Okay, if you remember, Carmelo was on Houston. Houston basically cut him.
They refused to like play him, and then they cut him.
They refused to play him, and they cut him. And he couldn't get a job for like a year. And I mean, Carmelo is a vengeful man, in my opinion. He's at the point in his career where he doesn't care. He wants to shoot. Yeah, he just wants to shoot, wants to score. He's not out there to win a title. He's out there to have fun, make some money, score some baskets. So they did jack up his price $1,000. So that's a little bit of pause.
There's a big factor in this, and that's the quality of weed that there is in Oregon. Okay,
okay.
He is very happy in Portland, I'm certain, which I would be too. So I'll play some Carmelo tonight. It's a good match. If you're ever going to play Carmelo, tonight would be the night.
I think tonight's a good night. I will definitely be looking at some Carmelo Anthony tonight. There's no doubt about it. Derek Jones Jr., 4.4K. You can play him, getting 31 minutes a game. He just
the injury.
Yeah, I am a little worried about the injury, and frankly, Derek Jones Jr. is one of those guys. He doesn't really command a lot of usage.
He makes his own usage. Like he gets his own rebounds. He takes his own shots off of rebounds. It's not, they're not running plays for it. Occasional back pick maybe for a dunk, but yeah, he's not.
You're right. He's one of those guys that he gets rebounds, blocks, steals. That's kind of how he manufactures his points. I don't like depending on dudes like that, but if you need a cheap guy around that price range, I wouldn't knock you for playing him.
But if he is out, Simon's a much better player. Agree.
Simons is a great play. I agree. His minutes should go up. I definitely like that play. So
let's move over to game 2.
Okay.
Did you have any last?
No. I mean, I think this will be a fun game to watch. It's
the early game on TNT.
It's the early game. We should have all the news prior to tip-off, so that's great. What sucks kind of about this slate is that you got the 6:30 game, and then the final game on TNT is not till 9 o'clock.
I love it.
And
late night hammer.
It's a late night hammer, but there's some key injury news when we get to that game that really is going to kind of dictate who we play a lot tonight. So
this is where playing cash comes in versus tournaments. You can play it safe and try to build a safer lineup. Whereas tournaments, they're having to rely on that information to try to open the slate a little bit. And
yes, and the other thing I would say is that give yourself some flexibility in your roster constructions to where you can maybe pivot off of some plays once we get the news for like Warriors and Suns.
Okay, well, game 2 tonight is not on TNT.
No.
It is LA at Detroit. Detroit's been playing a lot of games lately, I've noticed. I see a lot of Grant. I just feel like in the last several weeks they played a lot of games. That tips off at 7 o'clock on the Detroit side. About as clean of no red whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
On the Lakers side, I am not even seeing questionable for Davis or LeBron.
Okay.
Something broken?
That will change. That'll change. And I don't think they've released their injury report maybe. I mean, that's kind of what I'm guessing.
I'm seeing Dudley questionable and Greek Freak's brothers questionable. I can't say.
Oh, wow. Greek Freak's brothers questionable?
Yeah.
Oof. Well, that is shocking. Here's what's shocking is I would think that they're playing a back-to-back. I would think if they ever rested any of these guys, maybe tonight would be a good night to do it.
It would be the most Laker-like thing for them to sit out the night they're not even listed on the slate as questionable, right?
And I feel like AD kind of got a little banged up last night, and he came back. So I don't know, man. I feel like the Lakers are going to pull some shenanigans tonight, but that's pure speculation on my part. We'll assume everybody's in. Just because
I'm with you though.
No reason not to.
Let's talk about cheap Anthony Davis. If he is no health tag, Anthony Davis at 8,900. He's never playing. He's not playing tonight. But everybody put him in the lineup because he makes perfect sense. So you could take him out at 545 or whatever we have to think. Right? There's no way that 8,900 Anthony Davis will not play tonight.
You mean won't be in a roster or won't play?
He won't play.
You're saying he won't play.
Meaning, if he's playing at 8,900, he should be 100% owned.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
But Davis will not play. He will not give us the luxury of getting to own him at 8,900 and putting off 60 points, right? That would be the least Anthony Davis like thing I've ever heard of. I love him as a.
I agree. I mean, he at 8,900, it's like
you have to play him, period.
What? Yeah. I mean, you can't. These are one of those situations where you just play the salary, right? And the
right 4-game slate. You can get Anthony Davis at 8,900. Okay, well, you got one position filled. Move on, right? Like,
I agree. I'm with you.
I'm shocked at his pricing.
Me too. But here's kind of the thing, though. He's been around 93, 9,200 the last few slates.
Okay.
The sticker shock is the fact he's under 9K.
That's
for me.
Seeing the 8 is the part. I agree with you.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm with you. It's going to be very difficult to not roster an $8,900 Anthony Davis against the Detroit Pistons. I'm 100% in agreement with you. What I will say is the spread is 9.5. That's bordering sort of blowout.
I'm not even going to play, by the way, because I'm so believing that I don't want to roster him because there's just zero chance, right?
I kind of agree with you. I just have the sneaking suspicion Anthony Davis is not going to play tonight.
I'm with you. I think neither of them play tonight. And the reason they're not listed as questionable because they're going to be later listed out, right? That's my.
It would fit the Lakers narrative this year,
okay.
Wouldn't it?
So for everybody listening, if Anthony Davis plays and he plays all the minutes he's supposed to play, you got to steal. I just can't believe it's going to happen. So
if Anthony Davis and LeBron James were to sit, then you just jam in Dennis Schroeder at 5,700.
Again,
I mean, he becomes the absolute lock of the slate, right? You could make arguments now if those two sit. Kyle Kuzma becomes very viable.
4,300.
4,300. You could make an argument that Montrezl Harrell becomes very viable at 5,800.
Wow. Yeah.
There are some really good plays if those two sit. I'll be honest. I think one of them will sit. I think not both of them will sit.
I think both sit. That's my prediction.
Well, I mean,
we can build our lineup as they both play and then adjust. I'm fine with either scenario.
Yeah, and I think we just said it perfectly. If those two sit, those are the three plays, and you move on, right? Yeah. I mean, bottom line. So let's.
What about the Detroit side? Anything we loving? As I said, it's pretty clean. Hayes is out, 5th string point guard. Other than that, it's clean.
Really clean, man. I mean, you could throw a dart at Mason Plumlee, who I poo-pooed yesterday, and he had a great game. He's 4.8K. I think his salary even went down.
The other night you mentioned Ellington, and he just went out and caught fire. Did you see any of that game? I mean, if Ellington plays, here's the other thing, guys listening. If Ellington plays like he did the other night, you should play him.
you should, but I mean,
it's hard to predict to get that.
Here's the thing, though. I think that night Derrick Rose was out, so that Derrick Rose is back. Blake Griffin, I think, was out.
No, he played that night. No, Blake
he did play. Okay, yeah. But he's been kind of alternating off and on.
Oh, man. Poor Blake Griffin, 5,900. Derrick Rose, 5,200, 5,400.
Yeah.
Wow.
Two just NBA legends are just turning into dust before our eyes. But, Blake Griffin hasn't been horrible this year. He's almost a point per minute guy. And if he's getting, 30 minutes, you could play him, I guess. I'm not.
He shoots a lot of threes too.
Yeah. And that's the thing. This year, he's shooting a lot more threes than years past, which tells me he's lost a little bit of his explosiveness. So which is what made him a great player, right? So I don't.
A lot of it.
So I'm just, I don't know. I think for the most part, I'm going to sort of stay away from a lot of these guys. Jeremy Grant is 8,400 now. God, what a world, right? Jeremy Grant's 8,400.
Did you ever think you'd see a day where Jeremy Grant's 8,400 and Rose is 5,400? I
Did you
think
ever see a world where Jeremy Grant is 8,400 and Anthony Davis is 8,900
I mean,
playing against each other? I mean, like, what? Like, this is nuts. So I'm gonna fade Jeremy Grant. Here's the thing: for Jeremy Grant to, I think, beat us tonight, he has to have a perfect game, and the chances of him having a perfect game, I think, are not that great. So, I think you got to look at like ways that people can fail and ways that people can succeed. And I think if Anthony Davis plays, it's very difficult for him to fail at 8,900. It's very difficult for Jeremy Grant to succeed at 8,400.
I think that's
It's just
well put.
it's just the way you got to kind of look at some of these smaller slates.
That's very well put. It's very well put.
So let's go over to, and I think I'm kind of done with this game, man. There's not a lot I love.
Game 3 is Clippers at Miami. Miami's another team that seems to be playing a lot of games right now.
They are.
Excuse me.
And what sucks for them is they've been ravaged by COVID stuff, dude. It's like they've got the minimum amount of players to field a team every night.
That game tips off at 7 p.m. Central. It's not televised. And on the Miami side, there's more red than almost anywhere. We've got questionable Hero, questionable Dragic, questionable Butler. Is Butler at all likely to play?
So he cleared COVID protocol, but the dude hasn't played in like 3 weeks. So I feel like I'm glad he cleared it finally. That's great news because I love Jimmy Butler as a player, but I don't see them rushing him back tonight. That's my take.
On the Clippers side, we've got a lot. We've got Beverly out. We've got George out. We've got Scrub out. That's his name. I didn't make that up. We've got Paul George plays every position.
Scrub. I don't even know who that dude is, honestly.
Beverly and George is the big news. George is the really big news. So George is
Kawhi too. Kawhi's out.
So in the card break last night, Tana called Kawhi Cowie, which was one of the funniest things I've heard in a long time.
Cowie is out.
Cowie is I don't see him listed as out. Is he?
He's out. He's out, dude.
Okay, Cowie.
Are we talking about Cowie from the Shanghai Dragons, or are we talking about Kawhi from the Clippers?
It was great. Yes, Leonard and George are both out. So does that free up something on the Clippers side? Because
100%.
So
Reggie Jackson last game like absolutely blew up. I refused to play Reggie Jackson, and he went off.
7K Reggie Jackson.
He's 7K now, man. He was. Let me look because I think he was 6.8K last game. That's maybe why I didn't play him, but he got 46 DraftKings points last game.
So what's this Lou Williams story? I was watching Stephen A. Smith say something that there's something going on out there that coach doesn't like him or something, or not playing him, or.
Well, if you remember, he went against the COVID guidelines, and I guess there's some rumors that he was at a strip club, but he said he just went out to eat some chicken wings.
And strip clubs do have chicken wings, so
they do.
That story seems to follow. So
yeah,
that's very believable coming from a criminal defense attorney side here.
But
I don't even know why we're questioning Mr. Williams at this point. I mean, that seems.
I mean, they don't call him Sweet Lou for nothing, man.
Story plays out.
Yeah, but he really disappointed last game. He was kind of a favorite, and he just didn't do anything. He's looked bad this year. There's just no way around it. He shot 4 of 14 last game. He shot 1 of 9 the game before, 3 of 8, 2 of 8. These are his last 4 games. He's just off. If you think it's a get right spot and he gets back to being Sweet Lou, then
I don't believe in get right spots. Get right. I believe in information, and he can provide us information tonight to show us he's getting right, so that we'll consider playing him in the future. But if we miss Lou Williams' return game, we miss Lou Williams' return game.
Yeah.
About Reggie Jackson, can we play Reggie Jackson at 7K? I mean,
no, you can play him at 5K on FanDuel for sure, but on DraftKings for 7K, no. I don't want to play. I don't want to play Reggie Jackson at 7K. I mean, this is a dude that had a career night last game. When he was the guy at Detroit, he didn't have those nights anytime. So like,
Yeah, maybe
it
like
was a
three.
fluke. It was a
Yeah.
fluke, man. I mean, that's where I'm going. Terrence Mann is maybe a guy we can look at. Um, he was 4,400 last game, got 31 DraftKings points. What I will say about Terrence Mann, he got you 9 rebounds and 4 steals last game. I don't know if he can reproduce those kind of peripheral stats. So I don't know, man. I again, there's just not a lot I love on this game. Serge Ibaka, I think he did okay last game, but he's 6.8K. I think there's better options. Luke Kennard, man, they're all just priced up because they know that Kawhi and George are out. So I feel like the Clippers are a very priced up team tonight, and I just have a hard time getting to some of these guys. But again, it's a 4-game slate. We got to play somebody.
Play somebody.
Yeah.
Let's jump to the Heat. The Heat are a little bit banged up. We don't know what's going on with Dragic and Hero or Butler. Butler, there's no way we could play Butler at 7,500 not knowing his minutes, so he's pretty much
No.
off the list. Hero,
Yeah, I'm not going to touch. But Hero's 7,400, man. I mean, that's pretty pricey. I mean, here's the thing with Hero. This is the highest he's been priced in like maybe the whole season, and he hasn't played that much. So I don't know, man. He hasn't played since January 14th. I just can't see going to Hero at 7,400 in this matchup at that price tag. But I mean, if you want to play him, knock yourself out. The Dragon Goran Dragic at 6,200. I kind of feel like they were playing it back to back, and they maybe wanted to give him an extra day of rest. I sort of feel like he's going to play tonight. At 6,200, I definitely like Goran Dragic. Kendrick Nunn absolutely like ruined my lineups last night. He played good.
He's a slate killer. Every time you get excited about Kendrick Nunn, you put him in, and like you get last night. Like it's been happening for the 2 years he's been in the league, right? I
mean he's done well certain spots, but man, he's just really kind of disappointed.
I'm gonna go out and say it. This is a tough 4-game slate.
It's really tough, man. I mean, it's a really tough 4-game slate.
Or we're just going to play a lot of the last game here, Golden State Phoenix,
which we'll get to. But
let's talk about Bam at 9,200. Bam is now $300 more than Anthony Davis, probably well earned.
Yes,
we played him the other night and he had over 40. You then played him again last night. Was it, or the night before?
Yes, last night, and he got 30.
And maybe there was even a time in between that we played him that he didn't score a ton, but had a triple double like numbers, right?
He had 60 against Brooklyn a few nights ago. So,
okay. So there's been 3 times we played him. We've rostered him a lot over the lot. Yeah. And well earned. Is he going to be
two out of the 3 nights he produced for us? Man, 9,200, you just hit the nail on the head. If you give me the choice of Bam Adebayo at 9,200 or Anthony Davis at 8,900, again, it just goes back to, I mean, for Bam Adebayo to really like pay off that price tag, a lot of things have to go really, really well. Not perfect, but really, really well. For Anthony Davis to pay off $8,900, he just has to show up to the building.
Right.
And so I think like, I don't know. I mean, I think the major difference is you can play Anthony Davis at power forward. You can only play Bam at center. So he's probably one of the better options at the center position tonight. But I think I'd rather play Christian Wood at $500 less than Bam Adebayo tonight. That's just kind of where I'm at. So
what about this? If Davis and LeBron are out as we're kind of, I'm projecting, you're projecting half that to be true. I could see a lineup where we play the 3 Lakers that we discussed, Kuzma, Schroeder, Harrell, and then maybe play two of the big, like Anthony Davis. Could we maybe get Bam in then, play both of them?
Maybe. I mean, again, it all depends on who's in and out,
On this slate, other than Lillard, I think if they're both playing, if everybody's playing and playing their normal minutes, Anthony Davis and Bam would be even at 9,200. Bam would be I would consider it because of raw numbers.
I would consider it too. I think in a vacuum, Christian Wood at 8,700, Bam 9,200. I think that $500 is going to be really important tonight because we just haven't seen a lot of value, right? I mean,
Right.
There's not been value that's just screams or jumps off the page at us tonight. So wherever you can save a little bit of money tonight, I think that's going to be really important.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, especially if you want to play Lillard too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to the last game of the night, Golden State at Phoenix. That's going to, as you mentioned earlier, that's the second game on the TNT slate, 9 p.m. tip off Central Time. Looking at the injuries, I see on the Phoenix side, Payne, the backup to Paul, is listed questionable. Booker listed questionable. And 2021 has not been the year of the Booker that I thought it would. And I'm going to blame Chris Paul on that one. But that's about it. Warriors are looking at, of course, Klay Thompson out. And that's really about it. Chris has been out for the season too. Everybody else seems to be playing.
You know who I'm going to blame for Booker?
Who's that?
Kim Kardashian's sister.
Is he dating one of the Kardashians?
Jenner or something. I don't know. I don't
he's
know.
dating. He's dating the real sisters. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The billionaire sisters.
Yes. Yeah.
Kardashians are the millionaire sisters, and
I mean, I kind of feel like maybe he just doesn't care anymore because if he marries her, man, he's set for life.
Yeah. I mean, between their salaries, they could probably grow up they could go off grid.
I mean, he could be the Cabana boy for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? He's good.
I was not aware that Booker was dating one of the Jenner girls.
See, this is the hard hitting news and information you get on the pivot.
Well, I am definitely no longer blaming Chris Paul. And I will officially apologize to Chris Paul that I thought Booker's demise was your fault. It's clearly whatever Jenner sister he's dating's fault.
Yeah, so. I can't tell you specifically which one, but it's one of them.
Okay, so
I think it's the one that's all over Instagram or whatever. I don't know.
Booker was one of my favorite up and coming stars, so we can just wipe him off the list of people that will.
He might play though. That is such really vital news for this slate because if he doesn't play, so let's start off with Phoenix.
Why don't they play? Talking about Phoenix. Why don't they play Carter more?
Well, okay. So again, I mean, if Booker sits and Cameron Payne sits, then Javon Carter sort of becomes that value play that might unlock a lot of other plays for us because he's 3,200. He's a good real life player.
He is a really good live player.
Yeah,
if we were at the YWCA or YMCA, you'd want Carter on your team. Trust me.
You would, man. And if he gets you 20 plus minutes, he will 6-7x his value. I think most of the time.
I'm gonna predict it right now. If both those guys sit, Carter 10x's.
Yeah, well,
you heard it
against Golden State. Yeah,
I said it.
So here's the thing, man. Like Phoenix, I would like a lot of these guys because Golden State is the highest paced team on the slate. Phoenix is the slowest paced team on the slate. They're getting massively paced up. So I mean,
whatever Suns person thought it would be great to bring in a slow pace guy to Phoenix needs to be fired immediately. And we need to get a fast break guy back in there and let's start chucking it up Phoenix. You got great rebounders. Just let them shoot. Let Ayton do his thing. Anyway, $7,800 Ayton is incredible. Phoenix is just not panning out. Can we just
so Ayton is another guy that just blew up my lineups last night. I was really high on Ayton against Oklahoma City, 7,300. Dude did nothing.
And they increase, and then they want you to pay $500 more for him the next night.
Yes, wow. Yeah. But he's in a great spot, man. He's in a really, really good spot again. So
Oklahoma City's a great spot.
So Oklahoma City won that game, dude.
I know, but with that, what makes us think that Ayton is way too talented to not be playing better? Him and Booker. That makes me sad. Is he dating Nick Jenner's sister too?
I don't think so.
Maybe they're
I don't
hanging
think so.
out. Maybe they're all hanging out. Maybe he's like,
Maybe
hey,
it could be. Well, they're not supposed to be according to COVID
oh,
protocols,
it's true.
right?
Okay. Do we like anybody? I love Carter. I love Carter even if one of the two plays. I smash Carter if both of them sit.
If it well, so yeah, if Booker and Payne are out, you just throw in Carter, no doubt about it.
What about Chris Paul if both of those guys are out?
That's the thing, man. If those guys sit, Chris Paul, like I really like Chris Paul last night, and a buddy of mine talked me into not playing him. I'm so mad because I knew that was a good spot for him.
When am I
Good
going to
price
get
tag.
listen to the juice? You're the juice for a reason, okay?
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
other tout you need to be listening to. You are the tout, okay? So fire these touts.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your help, and we'll move on without you.
I mean, he's 6x last night. It was an easy play. He got a minimal increase, 8,000. It seems expensive, but if Booker and Payne are out, I like him again, man. Especially against Steph Curry. I'm not going to get scared of Steph Curry defense. So Chris Paul, I mean, again, he's a great play if those guys are out. Ayton, I like a lot too at 7,800. Mikal Bridges at 6,000. Jay Crowder did well last night. Cam Johnson, I'll probably stay away from. People were kind of on him last night, but I've kind of been digging into him a little bit lately. He just doesn't do much, man. He just doesn't. He doesn't shoot enough for me to warrant paying 5,000 for him. So I'm going to cross him off. But I guess the main plays would be Booker. Paul, Ayton, Bridges, Crowder, and then Carter. And Carter and Paul would probably be my two favorite plays if those guys we talked about were injured. If Booker is in, I'm probably going to be fading a lot of these guys.
Crowder, I just got to say this. He comes to the gym with his bag packed, ready to play. I mean, he's suited up, ready to play when he gets there. He plays.
Dude, he's a consummate professional, isn't he? I mean, he's a lunch pail kind of guy, man. He just goes out there and works hard, and he's been doing really well from a DFS perspective the last couple games. I think Booker being out for some reason has been really helping him. So I don't know.
We're running a little long here, so let's build a lineup because I want you.
We got to talk real quick about Golden State. I'll make it fairly quick.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. That's my fault. Let's jump over to Golden State.
Steph Curry, 9,700 pass, massive pace down spot, huge price tag. Not going to do it. If he beats me tonight, he beats me. I'll play another slate. Wiggins, 6,900. No thanks.
He's been consistently
6,400.
Wiggins is consistently putting up 23 real points each night. So why don't we love Wiggins? Oh, because the pace down spot.
Pace down.
Wiggins. If you get Wiggins in a game like Minnesota, Atlanta, he's just such a great play.
Yes, I agree. But tonight I'm going to pass.
All these guys are designed to play up pace. So anyway, go ahead. What's Draymond?
There's only really one guy I like from Golden State, and it's all about the minutes, and that's James Wiseman at 4,900. I think that's a good price tag.
I do too.
He got 24 minutes last game. He got 36 DraftKings points. So again, if he gets mid 20 minutes, I don't mind him in the spot. And Ayton is not very good defensively, so I think they kind of match up well together. I'd just from a basketball perspective, I'd like to watch those two go at it.
Wiseman's one of my favorite plays on the slate.
That price tag I like a lot, especially if his minutes are. If we hear that he's going to play mid 20 minutes, I'll put it to you this way: if James Wiseman starts, I'm going to be playing a lot of James Wiseman. If he doesn't start, it's going to be kind of dicey, because when he starts, he's going to get that sort of fourth quarter run. If he doesn't, his sort of minutes upside is a little bit capped.
Okay. Well, let's build a lineup. I'm excited to see it. I kind of built one, and I had $700 left for the last player. So I'm kind of off. Tell me what you're thinking about doing. Let's start off with the point guard position. Let's go through this pretty swiftly because we've got a lot of over-unders to talk about.
Okay. I'm going to go Dame, 10-6.
Okay. I love it.
We're going to go down. I'm going to go Javon Carter.
I like it. Now, obviously, guys, look for our lineup about 5:45. If injury news comes in, this might be adjusted, but I like Carter a lot. Small forward.
God, this is such a tough position tonight for me. Uh,
I agree.
I mean, I'm sort of going to assume that the Phoenix guys sit. So I'm going to play Jay Crowder again. I'm going to go right back to the well.
I think even if we get a situation where everybody plays, Crowder has a lot of, as you say, has a lot of ways to get there. So
yeah, and I like the price tag. I don't think they priced him up enough, right?
Yeah.
So power forward, we talked about him, Anthony Davis,
yeah,
8,900.
If he sits, we'll find something else. But if he's playing, we have to play him. Center.
God, I really want to play Christian Wood, but I think I'm going to try and save a little bit of money here. So I'm going to go James Wiseman.
Oh, I like Wiseman. Okay, now we're onto the guard spot. We're looking at 5,600 left, average with 16.9.
I think we could go back to Simons.
Ooh, I do like Simons. Okay, that's frees some stuff up. Now we're on to the forward position.
Yep.
Which I have a feeling will be Carmelo Anthony. Correct?
Yeah.
And then utility spot would be.
God, this is tough, man, because I don't like anyone here.
No, I don't either.
I
wonder if we could pay down a little bit more on Carmelo. Even.
Yeah, I'm looking at that as well because I just don't like that at all. Let's plug in Christian Wood and see what we're left with. We're left with 4K.
Because that's what we're trying to get to anyway, right?
Yeah. There's not tons to like down here, but I mean, I guess there's really nothing I really like down here.
What about Bam? And even go dirtier. That gets us 35. We could go Bay. Bay's been playing a lot.
Yeah, but he's been starting when Griffin's out and Griffin's back.
Makes sense.
You know, we could throw in KCP. He played in Detroit for a long time.
We get some
little narrative. And I mean, if one of the big two sits, somebody's going to have to score a little bit. And I like KCP when he shoots, you know.
And then go.
I know he's going to be getting his shots up. Yeah, and then we go Christian Wood at the utility spot.
Okay, I like it. Obviously, things are as some value opens up. These value plays.
Here's what we're going to do. Because again, we're trying to help the listeners out, right? We're going to put Christian Wood in the center spot, and then we'll put Wiseman at the utility spot. And I'm going to tinker with this a little bit. We're short on time, but I'm just doing that because that's the late game. So, you know, we're just giving ourselves a little bit more wiggle room.
Okay.
But I think the theme is, I mean, I think we like a lot of the Phoenix guys. Shoot, we could plug in. I'm going to look at something here. If we plugged in Wiseman, we could go back to Paul at the utility.
Ooh.
And then let's see what we can do at forward. I mean, if like AD were to sit, then we could definitely plug in Kuzma, you know?
Right.
Well,
I'm going to leave.
I'm going to leave it the way it is. Yeah, I agree.
Go over it real quick. Just name the players we played. Dame
at point guard, Javon Carter at shooting guard, Jay Crowder, small forward, AD at power forward, Wiseman, Simons, KCP, and Wood. Okay. Yeah, cool.
I like her lineup. To finish it off, let's do the segment I call make everybody some money, make Matt some money. We're gonna do some over-unders. We got 2 televised national TV games, so we will have some rebound and assist props. But let me get to the right spot here. Okay. The first one is Jeremy Grant, 21.5. He's been
I like that. I like that, man.
Actually,
that seems low to me.
I did. I thought the same thing, and I think it's that he's playing the Lakers, and if the Lakers
Yeah.
normal players sit out, he'll get way above that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think he should do it anyway. I mean,
Right.
the only thing that's kind of maybe gives me a little bit of
So,
pause is that all the guys are back, but still, I think he's putting up shots.
so are we liking or smashing?
Well, it's like,
Oh, okay. I went back to rechange it, thinking we might be smashing. Okay, Steph Curry's 28.5.
oh man, I'm gonna fade.
This one seems really low to me, but I understand they're playing a low-paced game. Wiggins is 17.5.
I'm gonna fade because I would say under, but I don't like doing player unders that much.
No, it's hard. We missed with Rozier the other night trying to do that.
Yeah.
Lillard is 32.5.
We smashed the over and he didn't do it the other night, remember?
No, he was very close though.
Um,
Oh, he also, because of national televised, we got Lillard 32.5, 5.5, 8.5, 4.5 threes.
I would say the over on the points and the over on the threes.
I like it. And it sounds like you like, not love. No smash.
God, it's just so hard to love at 32.5 points.
That's the hard part about those.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Carmelo Anthony at 16.5.
Love.
Smash, right?
Mm-hmm. Smash.
Come on, Carmelo. Don't let me down, buddy. He is at 5.5 rebounds, 1.2, 1.5 3-pointers. His 1.5 3-pointers, it's 2-1 that he'll go over. So we're having to bet twice. That's tough to want to put a lot of money on. Vegas should change that number soon to 2.5 because it's so hard to bet over right now.
I mean,
are you looking at his stats from the last few games?
Yeah. Rebounds. What's the over under on the 3-pointers?
1.5.
God, Vegas is so sharp, man. I would say the rebounds. Let's do the over. I kind of like it.
You do like rebounds?
Yeah.
Okay. Oladipo is 20.5, 5.5, 4.5, 2.5.
I like the over on the points. That's it.
How do we not get any Christian Wood numbers tonight? I guess because he's been out.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Okay. That's we're short. I thought we had a few more props, but we got 7 in.
Okay.
Some might free up as more injury news. Sometimes they put out some more, but we got Jeremy Grant liking that over 21. Lillard, we liked over 32.5. We liked over 4.5 threes. We smashed over 16.5 points for Carmelo Anthony. We liked his rebounds, and we like over 20.5 for Oladipo. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's keep our winning streak alive. We've been doing pretty well on these. So we haven't had any major losing nights. And we've been really close to having a couple really big nights. So anyway, that was fun. I enjoyed it. Tomorrow we're going to try. I have some afternoon things, so I'm hoping we maybe can get together in the morning and do a live stream.
That sounds good, actually. My morning is pretty wide open. Usually I play tennis, but I'm not going to tomorrow.
Morning would be a lot better for me. We got a big slate tomorrow, 10 games, right?
It's got to be. I mean, it's Friday. Those are big slates.
Anyway,
I haven't even looked at it, honestly.
I look forward to it. So thank you, everybody. We're at 49 subscribers. Guys, if you're liking or listening at all, please hit the subscribe button just so that's kind of the way we kind of keep track of how we're doing. Or 50 was a big mark for us. We're at 49. 100 is going to be the next big mark for us. Anything you can do to help to get those numbers up, we
Yeah,
appreciate
just
it.
share the link or whatever, like to your buddies. I mean, whatever you can do to help us out, we really appreciate it.
Tomorrow we'll be doing what we call the big show. The big show has Jared. Well, Jared will be here. We'll be live streaming it. After the technical difficulties I lived through with live streaming last night, hopefully we'll be doing. It's a hard process, but we're getting closer to getting good at it. We'll find out. It'll probably be more before noon. We'll tweet out. Julio will tweet out the lineups for everybody before tip off tonight. And good luck, everybody.
Yeah, man. Thanks. It was fun.
And I'll see you in the morning, Julio.
All right. Sounds good.